Hello and welcome, one and all. They're not saying anything. The others are quiet. Why are they quiet?
Hey!
Oh, you're talking.
Now I can test my audio. Right, everything is working. Everything is amazing and happy. It is April 17th. This is the Virtually Rekt podcast with Mr. Mac in VR, Mr. Indie VR,
And you.
and me, apparently. Though I've forgotten things because once again I'm finishing off a nice 12-hour shift. But we're here to talk about VR. We're here to do all the things. How are we doing, fellas?
Really good, really good. New mic. Happy new microphone day to me. Hopefully I sound nice and
Sexy.
It is very, very smooth. That I'm annoyed that you haven't got it on like the RGB mode. It's just on the blue.
No, this is the Mac in VR Blue. My PC's on the Mac in VR Blue. I'm on the Mac in VR Blue. So
Yeah, but eventually everything back in VR Blue is just a blur of blue, right? Like you need big, pretty colors. You need this, right? Oh, there we go.
Got the Mac
You
in
need
VR
all
Blue
of the
behind
different
me.
colors. Oh, I like how
no.
green actually green screens eventually. That's pretty.
God, that's
look at it!
crazy.
Look at it!
Yeah. That is trippy.
LED tarts. That's all I can say. LED.
I do love some RGB. Right,
I
so
do.
let's start off the way we always do. What have you been playing? What are you drinking? We'll start with Indy today.
Water as usual.
Ooh, very nice water.
He's on the
Flavoured water,
fire
in
water.
fact, from the
Flavoured
Highlands.
water.
What have we been playing? Nothing's really changed.
Good. I'm glad.
Yeah, just the same. I've been playing a lot of Ghost of Tabor, and well, we've all played Breaches since then, which we're going to talk about as well.
Yeah.
How about you, Mac?
I'm on a nice Pinot Grigio, and I have been playing Gran Turismo 7, Ghost of Tabor, and Breaches, and also something I can't talk about,
Ooh.
which was a multiplayer playtest from the guys who did the Moss Book 2 game.
Oh, I
Okay,
tried to
so
get
we
in
know
on.
those
I
now.
tried to get in on that, and I didn't get a message back. I was a little bit gutted. But we won't talk about that because you're not allowed to talk about that. Obviously,
I'm not allowed to talk about. I'm under NDA, so yeah.
Yeah, no.
Never disclose anything.
No.
Oh,
Because-
damn it! We got
because
right.
I-
Okay,
Because I've got my little Moss figurine, and I don't want to miss out on the next one.
We need so Indy. Our mission for the entire podcast is to try and trick Mac into breaking the NDA in the smallest
We need
possible way.
we need to switch to the red Mac G's, I think. That's where he lets his barriers down.
Okay,
happening.
so I am being boring. I'm still on the Apple Tango,
Yeah, but
mainly
you've
because
got work tonight, haven't you?
yeah, literally, I finished work an hour and 33 minutes ago, and I've been home for just under an hour. And then as soon as the podcast finished, I'm going back to work for another night shift.
Fuck.
So,
Dude, I tell you, the sooner you can fucking switch to being a full-time YouTuber, the better for you, mate.
oh, 100%, 100%. But what have I been playing? So, nothing's really changed for me either. I've played, I've been playing Breaches. Obviously, we played Thursday and Friday night.
Yeah.
And the game is pretty solid. Like it's good fun. I'm not good at it, but
No.
it's good fun. But honestly, the entire time, all I was thinking about was playing Tabor.
Dirty boy.
Yeah, it's
Dirty.
like each time I was firing the gun, I was like, this doesn't sound right. Why am I not huddled in a corner somewhere, like with my heart rate at 1,000? Like this, it's just not hitting home for me. But we'll do we can do the entire Breaches thing now. Actually, let's
why not?
let's get into
Yeah,
Breaches.
Why not? Yeah. Okay. So I was involved in the playtest. I got to spend some time playing with Tribe Grey Wolf and VR Link and Skeever. I played for 3.5 hours. About a week before it was released. Those 3.5 hours went by like that, literally. And I remember coming away thinking, "Wow, this is the next big thing in PvP VR." That was my one and only sort of thing that I took away from it. I did a video on it. What I liked about it, and so these are the guys who did what's the other game they did? Ultramex. No, not Ultramex.
I know what you're
The
saying.
other, the other PvP shooter has gone out my head. Anyway, but the thing I liked the most about Breaches was the voice chat worked because Skeever was on PC and I was on Quest. I've played the PC version and I've played the Quest version, and they are almost identical. So there's none of this sort of onward crap where they downgraded the PC VR experience. It is as good on the Pico 4 and the Quest 2 as it is on PC VR and Oculus VR. And it was just slick. It was just slick. Everything just worked. And that's, you know, going back to like Larcenauts and you know, like Zero Caliber Reloaded, where the games launched and they weren't there. Breaches was just there for me straight away. I just thought it was amazing. That's my take.
It was Hyperdash, the other game, by the way.
Hyperdash,
There
yeah,
you go.
that's the one, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like they did a phenomenal job with Hyperdash. Like they have supported Hyperdash forever. Like they have done so much with it, and there are constant competitions, tournaments, new seasons. It really did feel like, even though it wasn't genuinely like it wasn't my kind of game, really.
Yeah.
And despite that, I like so much. Like I'm just proud to see a company that's dedicated to VR put that much effort into their games. So I can only see Breaches having tons of updates, tournaments, everything like going forward. So yeah, like from Breaches, I really enjoy it. Like, I used to enjoy playing Siege, and I like the Siege-esqueness to it. There are definite some negatives that I'll get into in a minute that I think they really need to work on. But as a whole, like, yeah, it's because it's backed by such a great company, because they've got the format already exists. They know the format works.
Yeah.
And yeah, I could definitely see this being like the go-to esport. Like, I would love to sit and watch a 5v5 of this.
Yeah, with some good players.
Yeah, I would watch live streams of 5v5, like high level play.
So, Indy, you had reservations, didn't you?
Yeah, I was watching you stream it, and I think Walking Dead, and then I was like, it's really hard to convey a game flat screen. So especially when someone else, you're not playing it, and it's just a flat screen. And then I went in and I was like, this is really fun. I actually really enjoyed it. There are some negatives, like the main one for me is the audio. Like, where the fuck are people coming from? Like, it's really, for me, I was like, I couldn't tell. It just sounds like a bunch of fucking high heels, you know, walking around. Sounds, you know, and it was just like, it's hard to tell where people are coming from. But overall, yeah, I enjoyed it. It is a fun game, and I think it'll go on for a while. The 5v5, like, obviously you need at least 5 friends together, and then you could probably do a random thing, or I'll tell you what I'd like to see is, you could do, I don't know if you can, but like, get in with 5 friends, then open the lobby up like you can do with Among Us. Also randomizing of teams, so the person, whoever's in charge of it, can click a button and randomize teams. That'd be great to see as well. But overall, it's a good laugh. It is a good laugh.
Shuey said there that he's played a lot of Rainbow Six Siege, and I have as well, back in my flat screen days. And what I would like to see is more guns and more operators, like with specialities, where the talents that the operators have are specific to that operator. So at the moment, you have, like, if you're one of the guys who's attacking, you know, you've got like the drone, you've got the breaching foam. I would like to see like sentry guns specific to characters. I would like to see, you know, other characteristics specifically for certain operators. So that, like, to me, that's the one thing I want, is I want those, like, those sort of Call of Duty, Rainbow Six Siege operators that are that have a skill set and you can use them in certain situations. How do you feel about that?
I'm sort of torn because at the moment the system they've got in place is that you can only buy a certain amount of the items that would actually move to you towards playing a specific operator.
Yeah.
And at the moment, the way they've got it set up, I think it would be quite difficult because at the moment, essentially, what you're doing is you can have like two of the invisibility, two of the cloak, sorry, two of the breaching charge, etc. And the breaching charge, especially, I think, is a big thing. Like you realistically, in order to have two teams, like a team of two and a team of three, breach and actually create like that sort of pincer movement towards a target. I think I think the breaching charge is so integral to having that happen well that I think giving that to a specific character, giving it to a specific operator, and like removing that from the rest of the team, I think might be an issue.
Okay. One of the things also is that there's only one person has the EMP if you're on the breaches side. And that if that guy goes down, that is a fucking massive problem because quite a few times when I've played, the guy with the EMP has gone down and they can just cap the EMP, and there's basically no way you can win unless you wipe out the opposition team. So
that's no different to any other search and destroy gameplay, though, is it?
Yeah, I suppose. I guess. Yeah.
Like they've flipped it on its head in the way that instead of planting the bomb, you're defusing the bomb, which I understand why they've gone for that sort of idea. Like it kind of makes sense, I guess, that the defenders would be the terrorists, and like in every other SND, it always seems to be this weird thing where you're trying to break into a place and then plant the bomb when they're defending it, which seems kind of backwards. So I like that they've rectified that. And in order for SND to work, you can only have one EMP. But
the EMP planting it is really cool. It is so cool because it's so intuitive, but it's like it still takes you like 20 seconds to do it, so you're kind of vulnerable. But it is really cool, you know, like the way you have to tune the wavelength to the
I did it. To the frequency. I did it once, and I said I was just pretending I was playing with Max nipples, and it worked.
Nice.
Yeah, and right. So again, we were playing, and like I remember when we played Contractors, and Shuey was shouting at me because I didn't know how to arm the bomb, and then exactly the same thing happened in Breaches, and I was like, do you remember that time you shouted at me for not being able to plant the bomb in Contractors? Yeah. Anyway, but it is intuitive. It's pretty good.
Yep. No, there was a really good game actually where I can't remember what the teams were, but I was the last player. I'd taken out two of the other team. The other two were down. There was one left, and I have a feeling it was Manny or Walking Dead. And I was literally turning it while sort of looking left and right, and they were like, "No, go kill him. You've got time. And as I was turning it, I got shot in the head. But we won that match because, as it turns out, like between him firing the bullet and me turning the knob randomly, I'd actually gotten it in the right position. It was fucking great.
Yeah, that was good. It is so good. There's so many like little snatch moments that in the game that make such good content because it is like, you know, like you can as a player make a massive difference to the game. You know, there was like a situation where I was on the attacking team and it was like 3 against me, and I actually managed to kill, the only time I've ever managed to do it, I actually managed to kill the complete opposite team, and we won the game. And I was like, I don't even know how I did that. And that's what I like about Breaches. It's those like little clutch wins that you get. It's fucking brilliant. It's really good.
Yeah, like it was just me against like 4 people, and they just kept coming through the window and just kept killing them. It's really fun. I was like, shit, I just won the game. It's a really good social game. It is, but you can't do too much socializing when you're playing at the same time because it's really straight into the action. Not like Pop 1 where you can talk shit for 5 minutes. You know, it's really like, and you need to be organized. You need to be like who's holding what, who's got what, and in case they go down and stuff. And so it takes a lot of. Oh look, VR Realms here.
Hey VR, hey Paul, how you doing? They need to
Let's-
sort out
yeah.
the basketball physics though, because
The basketball is
all over the
terrible.
shit. The basketball's all over the. I've scored one basket and I've tried
So
quite a lot.
we actually had a situation, I think, live on Walking Dead stream, where it was Walking Dead, his brother, this other guy that I can't remember with a really, really deep voice, and Taz. And I stood to the side and I was like, right, you're just going to play 2-on-2. You're just going to play 2-on-2. And you've got to actually, like, if you catch the ball, you can't move. We're going to play netball rules, right?
Yeah.
And no one scored a basket. We were there for like 25 minutes and no one scored once. It was fucking awful. It got to the point where Taz was just breaking the rules, running around, and
I will
That's not like
destroy
him.
you.
it was good fun. But yeah, like the physics is so bad for the basketball side of things. Did you find the little metal croquet balls?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
it's the French game Bulls. There's like a little red ball that you're
There's
supposed
a
to
rule-
put
yeah.
out. and then
Oh, I
you're
didn't
supposed
find the
to
little
throw
red
those-
ball.
Oh yeah, it's
Yeah,
basically
yeah.
Bulls. But I've actually committed to making the Tassos I will destroy you T-shirt,
Nice.
which will be coming to this channel soon. There'll be a limited run of 30 days, and it's going to be a cartoonized Tassos head with Tassos I will destroy you, because that is his.
Oh, I
that's
am
his slogan.
buying that T-shirt. I need that T-shirt in my life. If nothing else, then every time I might have to buy multiple, so that every time he says it, I'll literally set one on fire.
It's a great idea.
Oh my god, I love that dude. He's so good.
Let's
He's so
let me
funny.
quickly give a shout out to everyone in chat. So hey, Monkey Nuts, thanks for joining. You were actually first. I just put first in for a laugh. I've got Butter Something, welcome. We have Assassin32, how you doing, buddy? Cone Killer, hello,
Oh.
Verified Games.
One of my
What's
channel
up,
members.
buddy?
No, Power On doesn't have a baguette tonight. Power On's not drinking tonight,
He
Googly.
has a baguette in his panties, he does.
Googly
Donzilla,
Games is here.
Yep.
Yeah. Rob's here.
got
yeah.
Weebly, how you doing, Weeble?
Weeble. Well, Weeble's always here. And
Ghost.
there's Fitz.
And
Fitz has just
then
joined.
Copter Strike as well, how you doing, Copter Strike? We still need to
Oh,
do the
dude.
multiplayer.
Yeah. Yeah, we do. Yeah, thank you
And
for the key.
Googly and Paul from the VR Realm, who is a Rainbow Six wanker, and he's instantly found a camping spot in Breaches. So there you go. Welcome.
He did, yes, he did.
But yeah, it is a really fun game, and yeah, I just think a few little tweaks, like you said, and add some guns and maybe some bits and pieces.
They need to sort
But,
out
yeah.
the gun sounds, man. The gun sounds are fucking terrible.
Yeah, my main audio problem is the fucking high heels. Where are they coming from? You know, it's like
It's kind of like you're wearing like a hearing aid and everything's turned up to 11. Like
Yeah.
you can hear it and you can hear it well, but you can't tell the directionality purely because of how loud it is.
Yeah. Yeah, that's one of the problems. So if people don't know and haven't played Breaches, basically it is a game where you are defending or attacking a bomb, and the levels are on multiple sort of levels, as it were, especially the skyscraper level, which has about 6 different floors, I think. If you're on the top floor and the defenders are on the bottom floor, you can actually still hear the guys on the top floor.
yeah.
And it's like tick, 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 tick. You can hear them moving around. And it's really difficult to judge where the sound is coming from, or how high or above you or below you they are, whether they're on the same level as you. So that does need fixing, because there's loads of times I got killed because I could hear people moving around above me and then suddenly thinking they were above me, and then they weren't above me, they were next to me. And that's maybe just me. I'm just a bad player.
Well, apparently,
I was waiting for you to start giggling when I saw that.
Indy often wears high heels and doesn't know where they came from. Indeed, I'm sure I've got a pair of yours here somewhere.
I think I left a pair of high heels when I came down to visit you, mate.
But yeah, man. I mean, overall, I think it's got really good reviews. It's like one of the top rated games, isn't it, on the Oculus thing?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. It's done really well. It's done really well. I'm so pleased for them because I hope it's sold. I mean, I being a content creator, I got given the Pico 4 version, I got given the Quest version, which means I also got the PC VR Oculus version. But actually, I went and bought the Steam VR version as well, just because I wanted to support them. I wanted to sort of say, yeah, I believe in this game. This isn't Last Noughts. This isn't Gambit. This is something which is gonna run and run and run as long as they support it, which obviously being the guys behind Hyperdash, they will. So yeah. Go and buy it. It's really good.
Yeah. So what's next on the agenda? What do you want to talk about next?
Ghosts of Tabor.
Oh, okay. All right. What's
I want to
the,
talk about, I want to talk about the
he
wipe.
really stretched out the bore bit of that. I'm kind of I'm kind of worried that Mac's now bored of Tabor and he's all about that breaching lifestyle.
No. I'm right. So what people don't realize is that we actually get together about half an hour before the podcast starts, and we started talking about Ghosts of Tabor, didn't we? And Shuey said, I'm playing Breaches, but all I can think about is Ghosts of Tabor. Now,
yeah.
Ghosts of Tabor is not perfect by any
Oh God, no.
means or stretch of the imagination. It is buggy as fuck. There's so many times that little weird things happened. Like, why can't they sort out this thing about picking stuff off the floor? You know, Onward was exactly the same, and that's like 7 years old. But it is heart-rending. Like I think what you said was like your heart rate hits 1,000 RPM, and like games like Breaches, they maybe don't do that, but Tabor does. So
I think they do it in different ways. Like if you're the last guy against 3 and you're on the defense and you're like actually, let's say you're actually good at the game, like that adrenaline rush from that point, like I can understand it. But Tabor is just a whole different kind of anxiety and adrenaline rush. Like I want to hear some more of you guys' thoughts on like the wipe and where we're at now, and like even like slightly pre-wipe and things, because we haven't talked obviously in 2 weeks and the wipe's only just happened.
So,
but after that, I want to tell you a story of Tabor from this weekend.
Okay, so I think it's best to let Indy, because he's the one who's played most and like streamed it most, mostly with his new bitch Walking Dead.
I don't know where she is today. I'm gonna have to pimp slap that hoe. It's not in the chat.
I bet he's streaming. I guarantee you he's fucking streaming.
He's not. He's on house duties today. I know
Good.
that much. So yeah.
I was starting to get annoyed at how little that man did other than play Tabor and Breaches. It made me really, really unhappy with how little other things he does in his life.
Has Walking Dead started? He started a channel, isn't he?
Yeah, he's got a YouTube channel.
Oh yeah.
Go check him out. Subscribe. I'll link it now.
Okay, mate. Yeah, you do that. So Indy, I mean, you're the guy who plays Tabor more than I do and more than Shuey does. So feelings on the wipe and feelings on the progress of the game?
Feelings on the wipe. Okay, spinning backpacks, disappearing loot, crashing and losing all your shit. I've spent 300 grand. A lot of it's from crashes. Shit not going on the wall. The back room, you can't put anything on there because it all goes invisible. Just there's a shit ton of bugs. Like there's loads of bugs now. But good news is on the Quest 2 now you can purchase your Founding Fathers edition. Yeah. So that's fucking awesome. But it's just.
Now, when did Ghosts get released? What date? Does anyone know off the top of their head?
About a month ago. I'll check for you now.
The reason I ask is that I bought the Founders Edition on Steam, and the reason I bought the Founders Edition is because I struggle with FOMO fucking hard, and they were like, "Yeah, you get a special patch for your shoulder." I was like, "Well, that's worth 50 quid."
Yeah.
I'll have that.
Exactly, but they said it was only available for 30 days. And I know that Quest haven't had access to it because of a load of problems, but I really hope that they're still going to hold to at least a time limit on that, because otherwise, what the fuck is it? It's not a founding edition anymore, is it? It's just a thing.
Yeah, it's like Pop 1 reselling all the old skins, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it came out the 21st of March, which is almost a month ago. So the wipers cause a lot of problems. Loads of shit's going down, but they haven't normally. See, this is the thing. They normally say like on their Discord, "Oh, this is an issue. This is an issue. You're working on it. You know this." But it's gone a bit quiet. I don't know if I'm missing the notifications or what. But it just there's loads of. It's still really fun, but I've lost loads of money. I know Walking Dead's lost loads of money through glitches and stuff like that. Like backpack disappearing happened a lot yesterday, and the SKS is off. I don't know what's wrong with it. I'm not the only person that says that. Everyone's agreeing with me. It just doesn't seem right.
They
And
probably watched you playing with it and decided to nerf the fucker.
yeah, okay. So that is fair enough, right? This is my fucking argument. If you have done that, you need to let us know in the patch notes. But I don't. Like, there's a guy I killed yesterday, and I was like that point blank. I was like, that took way too many SKS shots, you know. And it just doesn't feel right aiming. I don't know. I don't know. But it's still really fun when it works. I'll tell you what the other issue is. What pisses me off is that I've stopped using Discord because Silver Tongue Devil and then someone else said to me before, I think it was Skiba, they were talking about it and they were just like, oh,
Yeah.
but then if you use Discord, it takes that element out of it because you can unmute in the game and talk to other people, but it takes that whole intensity off it. So stop doing the Discord thing and just doing the in-game chat. But then a lot of people are doing Oculus chat in Oculus chat, so they have to end the call to talk to you. So anyone I go up to, like yesterday, several times, is like, blah, 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 say something, and they wouldn't say shit. So I'd shoot them in the head because they've got a teammate somewhere they're talking to. I think that's down to the player, though. They can't really do anything about that. But it'd be great if everyone would stop doing Oculus chat as well.
Yeah, fuck you, buddy. I'm gonna stick with fucking Discord, mate. Like, I'm bad enough at the game anyway. I need that extra help.
No, I actually think the positional audio is really, really good in Ghosts, and we had that. We were playing. Me and Serge were playing when we went into the building, and you walked past the guy who was hiding in the corner, and I was like, "He's there!" And you, for some reason, jumped in the air, and I shot the guy. Do you remember that one?
Yeah.
And I shot the guy, and I shot the guy, and it was like, I'm gonna have to do a video where I put like the little Mario sort of ba-doing sound in as you jump as I shoot the guy. No, that I think you should be forced to use in-game chat.
Yeah.
Because one of the big things about Ghost of Tabor is being able to hear people talking, and like that. You know, you can put your hand up to your mouth and press A and mute yourself, but that's like a tactical thing. So there's loads of times that we've been out in Ghosts and you can hear people in another room talking.
Okay, so that we're clear, right? One of the items in game is a fucking walkie-talkie, right?
Yeah.
They need to introduce a way of actually utilizing the walkie-talkies, even if it means having to reach up, like in Contractors, and or Pavlov or Onward or whatever, and actually having to activate your walkie-talkie, and it should be worth a lot of money as well. That's what I'm saying. Like, in order to utilize it, it's something that you can drop. It's something that is going to cost you, say, 50k for a walkie-talkie set. Like that. That's something I think. And they also, the walkie-talkies should have channels, and I think they should have 99 channels, and anybody should be able to tune into them.
That's a great idea. So in Onward, you could. If you were close to somebody, you could talk to them. But if they were further away, you had to use your radio. And I think that's really good because in Ghosts, basically, if Serge was like 100 meters away from me, I can still talk to him normally. And I think that's kind of wrong. You should, like you said, the walkie-talkie thing would be really good. But then it probably fucking disappear when you spawn in. So
yeah. But it's funny because like the whole point for me of the game is I love the open world thing, and that's why over Breaches I will always go full Ghost of War because there's so many CQB games in VR. I like the openness of it and the random interactions. Like I always say, DayZ. Like I used to play that. I used to love the random interactions. Some people you kill, some people you go on crazy adventures with, and become friends and stuff like that. And it just
I was watching one of your. I was watching one of your streams where you ran into that Australian guy.
Yeah.
Do you remember that one? You were like, Walking Dead was going, kill him. And you were like, no, I want to give him some stuff. And he gave him a helmet and
Yeah.
he was like really nice. And as he was walking away, Walking Dead was going, kill him. You know you want to. And you were like, no, I don't.
Do you know, I've not met, like, in the last week and a half, I've not met a single person who wants to talk in Ghosts. Everybody just straight up, like, the moment they see you, they're like, bang. And, like, 50-50, I'll end up killing the shit out of them. But, yeah, like, I especially in Silo, there is no fucking chill.
Oh, fuck Silo. I don't play Silo. Yeah. It's another CQB thing. It's like, it's been done a million times for me. You can't. No one's going to chat to you in Silo. They're hiding in the corner with their night vision on, like fucking Buffalo Bill, just waiting to blow your brains out. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah, but there was that great. I did a stream and a guy killed me. I basically walked around the corner, put my hands up, and he shot me. And then I was like, right, I'm getting you, you fucker. And I actually did that. I put the night vision on, hid in the corner because I knew where he was. And he walked around the corner, and I just absolutely lit him up. And I was like, fuck you. But my normal way of playing is to, if I see another player, is to try and communicate with them first. If they shoot at me, then that's fair enough. But
I'm all about that fuck you life. Like genuinely, my motto, and like it's gonna be the same motto going forward, right? It's gonna be 6 different ways of saying it. It's gonna be 3 different ways of saying it. It's get fucked, stay fucked, get wrecked. That is now my motto in Ghost of Tabor.
Yeah, I don't, because I've played fucking loads, so I want to mix it up a bit, and I think if you play a game loads, you can get away with a bit more risk, can't you? Because like, you know the signs of someone. But and if you if like say Walking Dead had a great interaction yesterday with the guy who killed me, I heard him. I just put it up, and he shot me, and it's a little kid, some little ghetto kid, and they had a great interaction. And Walking Dead's like, all right, I'm going now. And he walked off, and he planned to walk off because the kid was saying some fucking crazy shit. Like, it was so funny. It's stuff like that. And then he jumped down and Walking Dead killed him. But it was just the random crazy interactions. That's what VR's really. I mean, what other game in VR can you do that in?
No, I don't know. You did that stream where you specifically tried to help noobs.
Yeah.
That was really, really funny because I think like half the time you got shot and half the time you actually managed to. It was it was quite sweet actually because I enjoyed that. I enjoyed that stream. That was good.
So I want to tell you the story from this weekend, right? This was my favourite Tabor expedition. It was a solo expedition, and I just had like 3 really, really terrible raids, and I decided, fuck it, I'm going in completely naked, not a single fucking thing on me. I just want to see what happens. So I load into Ireland. I'm on the beach near the Yellow House, sort of between like the little campsite and the prison.
Yeah.
And I sort of go have a look at a few things, end up getting an AK, end up finding a rail, end up finding a sight. I find a backpack. Like I'm really happy. Like this could not have gone better for me. And I go up the hill and I take Overwatch over the prison. And instantly, I look down and there's 2 guys running from like the tree line towards the crack in the wall on the prison. And I'm like, fucking yes! I'm gonna have these guys. And I go to click, and I'm like, oh god damn it! So press A, click, take the mag out. There's no fucking bullets in the mag, right? This was a fresh gun. This was a fresh gun, right?
Yesterday. Yeah.
And I was like, oh crap. So I walked back down, and like the little campfire area hadn't been looted, and there happened to be another gun there, and I was just like, yes, it was an M16, and that I checked it straight away, like racked it, saw the bullets, happy days. Go back, they've already made it into the prison, and the first really, really big guard tower, like the tallest one there with a huge ladder on it. So they've climbed up there, both of them, and I'm just like, sweet, pot shots, pop. And I miss horrendously because the M16 is a pile of absolute garbage. I cannot aim for that to save my absolute life, right? But either way, I've got them like pinned down, and eventually I'm just like, I'm not hitting these guys, and they've sort of ducked down, and they're like even like crouching and leaning down to make sure that I can't get the headshots. But they're not trying to like fire back, and because I don't think they know where I am, and they're not trying to get out of this guard tower. And I realised the reason for this is that over the other side of the prison, someone's firing at them from like the hillside, and I'm like, well, I'm gonna start shooting at that guy because I've got a clear fucking shot on that guy. So I fire off 4 rounds and my clip is dead. And I'm like, oh, God, fucking damn it. And I look over and it turns out this guy had killed these 2 guys and knew where I was. And I was like, well, I came in with nothing.
You're fucked.
I've got nothing to lose. Let's see what happens here. So I run down the hill, run over, and I decide, like, the only place I know where there's almost guaranteed to be some sort of weaponry is in the guard tower. And that's a long climb when you know that somebody is positioned on the hill. But I'm like, fuck it, whatever, let's fucking do this. Climb up the ladder. He doesn't shoot. And I'm like, that's interesting. He's repositioning. Get to the top of the guard tower. And these guys are fucking kitted, man. Like, they've got tons of stuff. They've got, like, they're running with SKSs, but, like, they've got backpacks full of shit. And I grab the backpack and I open it up, and it's got like 3 SKS mags, a spare pistol, some pistol ammunition, a grenade, and the purple key card.
Nice.
Oh, on island.
On island, purple key card. And if for those of you who don't know what purple key card is, it allows you to open a specific room in the prison, which is like fully like loads of loot boxes. And I'm like, yes, get in. But obviously I know that this other guy knows where I am, or theoretically should know where I am. And the sort of slightly along the wall of the prison, there's another smaller guard tower that comes up. And I see him and I'm just like, oh God, I don't know if he knows where I am. But I've got an SKS now. So I shoot I shoot the shit out of this guy. He is dead. I collect the rest of these guys' loot, gear up properly. I've got fucking mags all over my chest. I've got a fucking knife for some reason. I go down and I loot this guy, and he's got like a G3 with an AGOG sight on it. And I'm just like, oh, this is just, what more could I want at this point? Like, I've got an SKS for mid-range, short range. I've got a G3 for my long range. I'm pretty happy. But he's also got a 4090 in his backpack. And I'm like, this is the best raid ever. Like, I can't get enough of this raid.
He's got what, sorry?
A 4090 graphics card.
GPU, yeah.
In his backpack.
About 40 grand the GPU.
Yeah, they're quite pricey.
Okay, yeah. Okay.
But I'm like, oh God, right. I need to use this purple key card. I need to open up this room because I've never done it before. And I'm like, yeah, right. This is happening. So I make a decision. I'm like, right, I can sit here for 10 minutes, right? I've got 25 minutes left on the raid. I can sit here for 10 minutes and I know that everyone else is going to be dead or extracted, or I can just go for it. And I'm like, I'm not going to sit here for 10 minutes. Fuck that shit. What the fuck are you doing, Tabor, sitting on your own for 10 minutes? You're not even chatting to anyone. This is bullshit. So I end up fucking going down there. I clear the whole of the main guard area, the main prisony bit. I have a few scares here and there because the whole place is like unlooted. So I'm like, yeah, someone's going to come for this. Eventually, make it to the room, press it. And I did not realize that this sets off a fucking alarm, right? So I put the key card in the door.
Boop.
And instantly it just goes, boop, and my brain just goes, motherfucker! And like, I genuinely throw my SKS over the rail into the main sort of like thing. So I no longer have a short range weapon. All I've got is this G3 with an AGOG sight, and I go in and I'm so excited and I start opening up boxes and there's literally nothing of worth in the entire fucking thing. It's so bad, man. Like, it had a Thompson. That was like the best thing that was in there.
But the purple key card on the silo used to open up like proper
Bunker.
Fucking good shit, mind.
Mate,
I mean,
I've done it once. Yeah, go on.
I got my what's the vector? I mean, there's like a 9mm vector
and a
there's
10mm.
10mm vector. I actually got a 10mm vector from the purple key card on silo, and that is a fucking monster gun. That is a monster gun. Unfortunately, it's been fucking wiped now. So,
yeah. So
Mac's still angry about it.
I'm not. All right. So, So what Shuey is describing here is what we call the Ghosts of Tabor stories, which is like those raids which are fucking epic, and you will always remember them in your head. So I remember spawned in, killed a dude who shot at me. I was trying to be friends. He wasn't being friendly. I shot him, got the purple key card, thought, right, fuck it, I'm going straight for the room. Open the room, burp, burp. Got the 10mm Vector, which is like so rare, and then went to extraction, and got like kind of. I ran into what's his name, Rekt or Correct or
Yeah,
the guy
Crack
with the fucking Crack it with the guy with the fucking gold SKS with the full auto
Yeah.
fucking I ran into him. Managed to fucking kill him, and this is before they armored up all of his buddies. Managed to kill him on the way to my extraction, and that was my Ghost of Tabor story.
Me and Walking Dead managed to do 2 of him in one night on the last on Sunday.
No way!
Not this Sunday, the previous Sunday. We smashed it because we went into a silo with 50 cals just for shits and giggles.
So if anybody doesn't know, there is a boss in Ghost of Tabor, and he has a gold SKS which is fully auto with a box mag, and he also has a gold 1911. I don't know if you know about this.
Yeah, I grabbed that as well.
Yeah, that is because I was like looted his gun. I was like, what the fuck is that? Gold 1911. Oh, I'm having that. But then we got wiped, which is one of the things I want to talk about Ghosts of Tabor.
Is anyone else reading the chat? Because I'm purposefully not saying anything because that's driving him insane. Okay, let me finish the story. Let me finish the story, and then we'll talk about the wipe. All right. So I go through the purple keycard room. I'm pissed off because there's nothing in there. And obviously at this point I don't have an SKS. I've got my G3 though, so I'm feeling pretty top notch. I go round the back of the big office building and follow the pipeline up because that's where the best extract point is for me, as far as I'm aware. Because I didn't want to go too far, but the thing is I really wanted to complete a couple of missions, and like a lot of them are obviously kill the Phoenix, right? So Phoenix, whatever, and as I get to like where the minefield is, and you've got that sort of like that bunker bit down on the left near where that extract is over on the beach. I'm like, I could, like, no one's going to be in this anymore. No one's going to be here anymore. So I sneak over to like the base camp area. And I'm like, I could pick off just a couple of guys. So I line up the shot, boom, headshot. Happy days, one Phoenix down. Move a little bit more, find another one. Crack, headshot. Like all of these are from like 70 odd yards, so I'm pretty happy about it. It's not alerting them, but then I make a mistake, and I'm not sure what that mistake is because I still haven't been able to figure it out. But suddenly 3 of these fuckers knew exactly where I fucking was, and they come running at me and they're shooting, and I take a couple of hits, but I'm just like, no, that's fine. Click.
Fuck.
I have literally no ammunition, no gun, and I now need to run the fuck away. So I run the other way, jump down the hill to like the bunkery bit, and obviously there are 2 Phoenix there that haven't been killed, and I have nothing. So I've never broken one of their necks. I've just never done it. So I literally run at this guy who has a fucking AK. And I'm like, how did you do this? And eventually managed to break his neck.
Yeah.
But of course, the guy behind me, who I didn't know was there, then shot me in the face. So I was this close to extracting with everything. And I did not extract because I wanted to kill a couple of Phoenix with apparently my last 3 bullets in my entire game. I was pretty gutted.
Yeah, but they're the best runs, man. When you're going with nothing, naked runs are always the best. Like the craziest shit happens because what happens is there's so much more tension because you've gone in with fuck all, and then you kind of get the more stuff you find, you loot up. That's like the whole DayZ side of things for me of the game, and you just get fucking excited and shit happens. You get into firefights, the alarms go off, and all that kind of stuff. And it's
As
just
well,
yeah,
when like Silo was the only map, I kept running into Fitz, and I always knew it was Fitz because he didn't have anything.
Yeah.
Because Fitz always goes in naked. And I was like, "Hey, is that Fitz?" He's like, "Yeah, it's me." I was like, "Oh, fucking hell."
yeah. I made come.
No, it's fine.
Sorry, mate. No, just say Silver Tongue saying SKS backpack in a dream. I actually made a video of the highlights of my last video I did was last week. It was me and Silver
Yeah.
playing, and I did a highlight video. It's fucking such a great stream. So
that
funny.
intro he did at the door at the house.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I'm in DVR. And I was like, "No, you're not. You're Rob." That was brilliant. That was so good. That was such good fun. I really enjoyed that stream and that sort of highlight reel.
Still, guys, we haven't been in together.
No, we haven't. We need to do. We do need to fix this problem.
we need to do. Yeah. Well,
I think I've only been in with you once, haven't I? With you and Pap.
Yeah. You need to finish. You need to stop working. You need to.
Oh God, I need to stop. I agree with you. I need to stop working. Tell my wife that. She keeps making me go to work to earn the money, look after the house, and
feed your children. Yeah.
What was that, dear? No, I don't want to go to work anymore.
It's one of the great things about being retired, and my wife now is also part-time, is that we don't fucking have to worry about making money and supporting ourselves. It's just the money comes in.
Fucking boom generation, man.
Fucking boom generation. It's one of the great things about being old. It's one of the great things about being old. I've lost all my hair. I've got a bit of a saggy tummy, but fuck.
I mean, I've already got the belly. I'll sacrifice my hair for that. That seems doable. And I like my hair.
I like your hair. It's very nice hair.
Tassos is here.
Hey, Tazzy.
Hey, Tass, how you doing, mate?
We were talking about you earlier. Your ears must be burning.
We're gonna have to do that t-shirt, mate. We're gonna have to do that t-shirt.
Right, so you wanted to talk about wipes. You want to talk about the wipe. This is where Mac's gonna get all butthurt, so strap in, people.
All right, everyone. Get yourselves a drink, some popcorn.
I think that is the shittest idea that has ever been fucking imagined by any fucker that's ever made a video game. It's fucking retarded.
So you don't like it?
It's fucking retarded. So imagine like I used to play a lot of Destiny in the day. Flat screen. You used to have Destiny Tuesday. Me and my mates used to go and do the raid. We used to do the night. I can't remember what it's called. They're like the dailies and the nights. So if Destiny wiped my armor and guns, I would have stopped playing that game immediately, because the whole idea behind Destiny is that you build up your armor, your guns, and you get better at the raid, and it makes the raids easier. The raids were never easy. They were never easy, but it makes the raids easier if you have people who have good armor and good guns. Why the fuck should I spend all my time in Ghost of Tabor to build up my armory and get all my good guns and get my trader level up to level 4 or whatever it is, so I can afford all the good guns, and then some fucker decides, we're just gonna fucking wipe you. Like, so I know that your argument is going to be, well, it's for the good of the game, it's for the good of the new players. Fuck the new players. Fuck them. Because Indy has already proved that a guy who jumps into a raid with an SKS and nothing else can fucking kill. And I've seen his videos where he does it, especially in the house in the island. That one where there was like 2 guys who were totally geared up and you just like stuck your SKS around the corner and just fucking killed them.
Yeah.
If you're a decent player, you can get by with an SKS and a backpack. That, that's all you need, and you've proved that, significantly in your streams. So why should I? Like, I'm a gun nut, and I want to collect the guns. Like, part of my thing about Ghost of Tabor is I love, I had my guns listed in like maker order, and like Russian order and American order and like
Oh, that
you know,
take you. Just out of
oh
interest.
no, you know, it took me a while.
Yeah.
So why do they think this wipe is a good idea? I mean,
Because
I
somebody
understand.
that
Like,
sits. Okay,
wait.
okay.
Like, so I understand why they did the recent wipe. And that
Yeah,
was
yeah.
because of the quest. That was because of the quest problem that they had. But don't say to me in 6 months' time we're just going to wipe your experience and you're going to go back to level 0. I'm going to stop playing right then, right there.
That's fine. Indy, me and you for the next 2 years, right? That's how it's
Yeah,
gonna be.
yes. And a dream. That's it.
So here's the thing. Did you play any of the 10 mil pre-wipe? I know you did, Indy.
Yeah.
No, I didn't. No, I didn't. No. I
Okay,
didn't,
so the 10 mil pre-wipe was basically team. It was squads, population 1. People would drop down. Everyone had the best gear, and there was no looting. It was just a death match basically, and that's fine. Like I'm not knocking it because I genuinely enjoyed myself. But here's the thing. I met so many new players that bought the game because they thought they were going to get the 10 mil pre-wipe, and they decided to buy that, but they missed out on the 10 mil because they'd bought it then after the announcement of the 10 mil. And me and Walking Dead were running around with, like, I was running around with the M15A55, is it? The M15 ass, whatever that is. Like, it's basically it's a semi-auto, decent sized rifle. I had like a 2x scope on it. I had a silencer on it, and I was basically like a mid to long range sniper. And they cannot hear where the fuck you are shooting from. Yeah, the M1 SASS it's dog. Shut up, Buster. Something. It's not dog water. I like that gun. It was doing us really, really well.
dog water.
I thought he was putting my ass then. My ass is dog water.
Yeah, no. On damage numbers, I haven't looked into it. I like when you're getting headshots, you don't care that much about damage numbers. So yeah. But the whole thing is every time something happened, you had to stop and reassess because the amount of silenced weaponry and long range silenced weaponry made it a really, like, new players 100%, they're not doing anything throughout that period whatsoever. And even if you ignore new players, I wasn't feeling like I give a shit about looting and things because I didn't need to.
Yeah.
And then it took away from the game.
Yeah.
No, but if sorry, Indy, if you've spent the time to build up your trader levels, then why should that be taken away from you?
Yeah,
Because that's the game, bitch.
Yeah, for me, playing fucking for ages, it became so fucking boring because it was like you can't hear any shots, so you can't go. There's a shot like now since the wipe. There's a lot more action.
Yeah.
Getting shot from miles away silence when fucking shit happens. But for me, it's just like it was so boring because you don't. Nobody cares about looting. There's nothing to lose. There's no risk reward or all that bollocks because you can just get all your shit for free. And like even places where people normally went looting and stuff, you go scope them out. You know, that's how you play the game, is you look at loot spots and where people might be. It just became a lot of the time I played it, I was like, this is shit. I actually ended streams. I was like, this is boring, guys. I don't want to stream this anymore. Shit. For me, that when everyone has all the top tier shit, it just takes the fun out of the game. Not just because I'm a loud wanker with an SKS.
I genuinely think what they should do is what people were saying in chat earlier, and it's a thing we've discussed earlier, like previously, is that they do need to have some form of prestige system.
Oh, like still, like Call of Duty, yeah.
Okay. I think like the you know, pop one stats as well. Like obviously, hopefully later down the line, like just even getting some kind of prestige, like you said, like for people you kill or phoenixes you kill and all that kind of stuff to give it a bit more meaning. I think it would be great to give a bit more depth to the game as well.
What I think would be the best. This is the best way I've worked it out. Right, I think there should be 2 types of prestige for this game. I think that one should be for people that get all of the traders to level 5. I think that should be a prestige. And the other, I think, should be for 1,000 player kills. I think that should be able. So when the wipe comes, you can prestige one or both of those. I think that's what should happen.
Right. So as a long time Call of Duty player who did prestige, I actually prestiged up to level 10. So I actually prestiged 10 times. And with Call of Duty, it does put you at a massive disadvantage because obviously you lose all your scopes and all that. So you're basically playing the game with iron sights. But people can see that your prestige level is really high. And that gives you a kind of prestige.
Oh, PJ.
If you understand what I mean.
PJ. There you go.
Yeah. But there should be like, I don't know, like skins or something that would go
cosmetics,
along with that.
100%.
So, yeah, absolutely. Because at the moment with Ghost of War, you know, basically if you have the good armor, you have the helmet on, you can see that. You can see naked players who are just guys running around with the basic t-shirt and the trousers on. But how about if you had, you know, like a sort of Call of Duty style skin where if you were prestige level 5, you would be like a sort of, you know, like an operator. If you were prestige level 10, then you'd be like a sort of like from Rainbow Six Siege, like a what's his name? Tunguska? I can't remember his name anyway. You know, like this, you know. Yeah, so I'm so not down with the wipe. I'm so not down with it. I
get what you mean, mate. I get what you mean. I mean, I get what you mean, and I get what the argument for it as well.
Shui, the voice of chaos. Mac, the voice of conservatism. Indy, the voice of reason.
No, not the voice of reason, because I don't give a fuck. I don't really care about any of the loot and all that stuff. But honestly, since this fucking wipe, I've lost so much money to glitches. It's like I've had to like bring at least one gun back with me when before I just didn't used to care, or one bit of something. Yeah, I get it, mate, but it's really, it's carnage. It's like for new players as well. There's so many different reasons for them to have it, and they're trying to make it like Tarkov as well. And another thing is, since the wipe, what they've done is people are complaining it's so hard to get to level 4 now with this trader and that trader. But what they're doing is they're making it more like the real, like how the game is going to be. To get to that level, and certain other things has changed, because I don't think they're going to do another wipe for a while now. It was just that wipe they've just done, and I think you should jump back in, Mac. I think again, three of us need to bloody do a fucking session. You know,
if anybody thinks I'm down on Ghost of War, I'm not.
No, it's not. It's just
I fucking love. I really do. I honestly think this is one of the best games that I played this year. You know, Breaches is fun, but Ghost of War has that thing, that edgy sort of shit. I've got this really great loot. I need to get out. I've got no health. I've got no bullets left. Like Shui said. Fuck, I need to get to the extraction point. Jesus Christ, I need to get out of here. And that raises your heart rate and raises,
so good.
You know, it is. It is so good. Despite all the bugs, despite all the problems that Ghost of War has, I honestly think it's one of the best games in VR at the moment. I really do. I mean, I haven't played as much as I should. I've watched a lot of your streams. And you know, I can just see like the fun that you and Walking Dead were having when you were playing. And it's just, it's like when we jumped in and I did the OAP Schools cheeky YouTuber live stream.
Which we need to do again because it didn't last long.
Yeah, it didn't last long, no. But that was really good fun. That was really good fun. I mean, you know, I actually went against my nature and killed a lot of players, like real players in that game. And when we extracted and I realized how many people I killed, I was like, fuck.
Yeah.
You know, I was like, I felt a little bit guilty. But now Ghost of War is it's annoying but so good at the same time.
Yeah, there's nothing like it in VR. That's the
No, there
whole
isn't.
thing.
No, yeah,
But
yeah.
something said really something interesting. Because as someone who's put in 5,000 hours as Tarkov, if they did not wipe, you would be so bored. And I got bored and when everyone had everything unlocked. So I get that as well. 100% get that.
No.
So shall we
wouldn't it be
move on?
good? Wouldn't it be just as a finishing statement? Wouldn't it be good to be good enough to actually unlock everything? Because I am not.
No, you can, mate. It's just to do those little quests and stuff, which I do, but I don't keep an eye on them. Just for this, I'll just go, all right, like I did some quests the other day, and then 3 hours later I checked them and was like, oh shit, I must have finished those like 2 hours ago. But yeah, I don't really, because for me, I'm an SKS wanker, and that's about it. And I think it's so fun because it's such a hard gun to master, and the noise you make, and I do die sometimes, and I'll be like, shit, if I had an MP40 or even just a basic machine gun, I would have done a lot better. But
Yeah.
part of the fun, it's all part of the challenge.
Okay, so here's a question then. Ghost of Boar has got a lot of things wrong. They've got a lot of things right. Breaches is super slick. So what could the people from Breaches learn from Ghost of Boar to make their game more personalized?
Personalized.
Yeah.
Oh.
Like, like to make it more so that you get that heart rocking moment, but you might be a different kind of operator. You're not just like a generic guy who either has a breaching foam or has a like a flashbang or something like that. So what could breaches do to make themselves more Ghosts of Tabor, to give that that like clutch fucking crazy heartrending win?
I don't think you can.
Yeah.
Like
Sorry,
genuinely, I just don't.
Different types of games.
Yeah, totally different, because when you go into the breaches, you've got 10 guns or whatever, and that's it. There's no risk or reward. It's just like 12 games and it's over. Goes to Tabor is like if you've done like Shuey did, if he came out of that thing alive, he had all that loot. He wouldn't want to risk that gold 1911 or whatever he got. It's just like, shit, do I risk it for this raid and stuff like that? The risk reward is that's not there. It's not really there. It's over. So if you finish a game and then it's like 12 game matches, whatever it is, then it's just a fresh thing, isn't it? With Ghost of War, you're building your collection and there's more at risk. So
Yeah. So going back to that one point that I always come back to, you're building your collection, but they're just going to fucking wipe it off every once in a while. And then you said that made the game boring, but I've got OCD and I need to collect stuff. So
okay, I'll tell you what I'll do, Mac. The back room of my place, I'll just collect guns for you. Actually, no, that won't work because they'll get fucking wiped as well. Shit. So I'll give it to you after the wipe.
I don't think Indy knows how this works.
Oh, fuck! I fucked up.
so this has been really great because we've been talking for an hour and we only actually just covered 2 games.
I was gonna say, let's get on to some.
Let's move on because time's limited. Yeah.
What I would like to do is I would like to talk about something which I received an email this morning from a guy called Crash Buist, and he said, your friend Shuey has referred you to me, and I would like you to watch this film, which is called The Stratum. I have access to the film. I haven't watched it yet. I didn't have time before the podcast started. I've watched the trailer and I've watched the behind the scenes footage, but I do need to hand over to Shuey here. I'm sorry to sort of keep you out of this, Indy, because you haven't actually seen this.
I'll speak to Crash and get you access to the movie, mate. It's you need to watch it.
So
if you like your sci-fi.
like you,
nice.
made so Shuey made a post on Twitter today. If go and obviously join Shuey's Twitter, go and watch it. And you were like hyped to fuck. And I've known you for a few years, and I have never seen you so animated about something which is not particularly VR game related.
Mm-hmm.
So I watched it was like 1 minute 30, I think,
Yeah.
video you put up on Twitter. And then I got this email from Crash Buist who said, your friend recommended that you would like to see this. I watched the trailer. I watched the behind the scenes trailer, which is a great story. Shuey, talk to me about the Stratum, because this is like on Rotten Tomatoes, right? On Rotten Tomatoes, this game is more highly rated. This film is more highly rated than than Top Gun Maverick. Honestly,
To be fair, that obviously there are going to be less reviews. So I'm not going to try and overhype the movie, right? Because I understand how my brain works, and I understand that I get like hooked on things, like phonics. No, although that's an American joke. I'm not sure who's actually going to get that.
I understand that. Yeah, don't worry.
I understand that reference. Ha ha. So yeah, so the Stratum is a movie made by a guy called Crash Buist. I'm gonna check it now because I feel really bad because he's gonna watch this back. Buist, right? And so I get this email pop up, and he's just like, "Dude, you're a VR guy. Check this shit out." And I'm like, "Oh, okay, sure. Send me a link." So he gives me access to a screener version of the movie, and I watched the trailer, and I'm like, this looks kind of low budget, but like most of the low budget stuff is in, or what looks to be is in the sort of 3D animation stuff that they've done, and I'm like, well, I can deal with that because I mean I've been watching like Stargate forever, and like like Star Trek, and I like sci-fi. I'm a massive fan of sci-fi. I'm a massive nerd for sci-fi.
The Expanse.
Yeah, but the Expanse is just huge budget, brilliantly done, amazingly written, godly.
Badly finished, but yeah, okay.
It wasn't badly finished. It wasn't finished. That's not the end of the story.
I didn't finish it, so
what the fuck is wrong with you?
I think I watched a season with. It's been going on for a while, isn't it? Like
there's 5 seasons.
Yeah, I watched one season, I think.
How did you stop watching? How is it not like crack to you?
The best. I honestly say The Expanse is the best sci-fi since Battlestar Galactica, the remake Battlestar Galactica. It's just so good. The characters.
Yeah,
I am that guy. I just fucking loved it.
Anyway, right. So the Stratum, right? So I go and watch this, and I'm going into this knowing that it's low budget. But you know what? The actual story writing for this is so well done that even though I knew it was low budget and I knew I wanted to speak to this guy more about this movie, and I wanted to interview him and things, I got lost in it, and that's good for me. Like I'm one of those guys that like, oh, this guy's going to be the murderer. This guy's going to do this. Oh, at the end of it, this is going to happen. And the film did some surprising things to me throughout, which kept me on my toes, which I'm huge for. Like any movie that keeps me on my toes and keeps me a little bit guessing on things, that's good. Even if it's just small things, right? Even if I don't know it fully, that's enough to keep me engaged, entertained, lost within the story. It deals with some very interesting themes. So on the whole, it is sci-fi. And the reason this guy spoke to me was because it's also got a big VR component within the movie.
Yeah.
Now, I want to explain this. The movie isn't about VR. The movie just has a big VR component to it, which is integral to the storyline. And it was done because it's not about VR. I wasn't going into it with the idea of, well, if they fuck this up, then, you know, that's the industry that I call my bread and butter. But it was integral, but it wasn't pushed. And so it just felt good. Like, it just felt like it was something that could exist at some point, that was done well, that would actually be useful. Nothing like nothing was over the top. But this is the thing, right? Is I watched this entire movie not knowing something, and the not knowing of it was that It was the guy that contacted me, Crash Buist,
Yeah.
is the director, writer, star, producer, editor. Like he's it goes on, right? There's him, and there is Lauren Seneschal, are like the two actors, and there's a couple of others that are in there, like Jonathan Medina, who's out going on to do other things at the moment in the US. But yeah, realistically, this is just two people. This whole movie was done by two people during the pandemic for less than 200K. Like, and that was only because they got grants from like TV movie people giving them money. But considering it's two freaking people, this movie, like, me and my wife sat down and I was like, this is going to be a budget sci-fi movie. And at the end of it, we were both like, that was really good. We really enjoyed it. And I'm ruffling a bit here, but this is the important thing, right? It's not just a sci-fi. It's not just got VR elements. It's also a romance story and an action. Like, there are like action sequences throughout. The characters are well written. The story is well written. The themes of like, because there's sort of a futuristic pandemic going on, but it's not it's not like forced down your throat. It's not zombies and shit like that. It's just a backdrop to a really good, well-written sci-fi story that is in the not too distant future. And because I like it so much, I've obviously been pushing it on my channels because, as I said, get obsessed with things. But I want to show you guys the trailer right now.
Yes.
There are several different there are several different variations, but this is called the Crash trailer.
Right.
So
I've just watched it before the podcast. I'm gonna go to the ladies. I'll be right back.
Fine. You have 1 minute and 30 seconds. Go.
That's all I need, baby. That's all I need.
Rekt Corp has driven us toward desperation and violence.
Are you people's army?
Our top scientists here on Rekt Station
I
are
think
dedicated to millions of customers living down on the planet's surface.
You think they'd house their security team on the space station?
A one-bedroom apartment up there goes for $1 billion.
Not only does the most powerful CEO in the world have a daughter no one knows about, he's also keeping her locked away in a private installation.
You talk to her? If Rekt gets wind of anything that we're doing, we're done.
You're a gifted guy, but there's 100 people talented as you who would bend over backwards to do the work I handed you.
No, Dad, I will lose everything.
But I can't lose you.
That's the burden of privilege, Jimmy. You never learn to get your hands dirty.
So yeah, that's the Stratum, right? And if you're interested in watching it, by the way, it's available on like Amazon Prime, Apple TV, iTunes, Vimeo, Vudu. I'm pretty sure there was another one. Oh, on Google Play as well, right? So it's available everywhere. I don't think it's too expensive. It's a good.
It's $3.99.
$3.99. Which service is that on? Is that on Prime?
Prime, yeah.
Yeah. So like it is like, this was even picked up in the New York Times this week as one of the top 5 sci-fis to stream this year, right? Which is a big endorsement, completely organic endorsement as well, because these guys, they're not big guys. They're two people that happen to now be dating, I think. But they're super nice. The movie's great. I really enjoyed it. If you like your B-movie sci-fi kind of feel to it, the way I would describe it is, for those of you who have watched Warehouse 13 or Eureka, it has that sort of vibe to it. So yeah, like, Go watch
When's
it.
out? Sorry, mate.
It's already out, mate. It's
okay.
been out. It's been out since March.
Yeah, so I've watched the trailer, which Shuey got me onto, and then there was a behind the scenes trailer, which I've watched start to finish, about 15 minutes on YouTube. Go to the Stratum on YouTube, and you can see the call it the BST, the back screen, whatever it is. And there's a point where he's got a load of sort of plastic, and he's putting it into his basically his bedroom, and he's painting it and putting lights into it, and that's the room that his the love interest is in. She does some like 0G stuff in it, and there's a scene where he's trying to get away from something that he's set, like a bomb that he's set, which will suck everything into this sort of void. And you see him running, and he kind of pulls himself back, and he manages to not get into the void. And in the back screen stuff, it's just basically him, and his mate's got a piece of rope tied to his back, and he just tugs him.
I love that shit. Yeah,
that is fucking. And I was like, but in the trailer it looks so good because he like literally gets pulled back, and he manages to grab hold of this sort of the corner of this building, and he pulls himself back. And then when you see the back screen stuff, it's basically just him, and his mate pulls him with a rope. And it's so clever, and it's, you know, it's like somebody who's got a huge amount of imagination making a film that they want to make during the pandemic, and it's like like you said, it's like $200,000.
Yeah.
But on Rotten Tomatoes, it is rated higher than Top Gun Maverick.
I was gonna say IMDb has it at 8.5 as well.
Yeah,
that's pretty.
Yeah,
which is pretty good.
Rotten Tomatoes, Rotten Tomatoes has it 8.5. Yeah, so I looked up because obviously one of my favorite films from last year was Top Gun Maverick. Great film. And yeah, I was like, wow, the Stratton's actually higher rated than Top Gun Maverick. That's fucking incredible. It's incredible considering that only 2 people made it. I mean, there's a lot of other actors in it. There are some quite famous actors in it as well. So I'm really looking forward to it. I've got access to it now, and I'm going to watch it tomorrow.
There is so a couple of things I want to point out. One is one of the best characters in there is one of my favorite characters of sci-fi in general now, and it's this AI called Buddha, self-named because it's a self-aware AI, and he is a schizophrenic black market arms dealer essentially, and it is fantastic because he's got all sorts of different accents, and I spoke to the guy about how that came about, and it's really good. The other thing is like I tried to sort of, because I knew I was going to interview this guy, and I was just like, I want to find some like gotcha questions, because obviously it's low budget, and so there'll be things that maybe he hasn't considered that appear in the movie. And so this movie is set in 2053, 2057, and there's a point where he literally takes a USB and plugs it into a PC, and I sort of said, I was thinking to myself, is USB still going to be about in 4 years? Is that a thing? And I decided, because obviously like I'm going into this interview with a bit of tongue in cheek, and I said to him, I was like, Crash, is USB going to be around in 40 years? And without missing a fucking beat, right? Without missing a single second, he turned around and he was just like, well, actually, this is part of James's character. And the fact that he likes like his retro equipment and things like that. And like, basically what he was saying was like the main guy, although he's sort of a futuristic hacker type chap, he likes like his retro cyberpunky type technologies. And I was just like, fuck, he got my number before I even fucking said anything. It's just like he's thought about these things like so in depth as well. It's just really nice to see.
And can I just say, the girl in the red dress,
she might be watching this, so be careful what you say.
No, I'm just saying. Do you remember the the Matrix, where it was the girl in the red dress would
I was
Oh,
gonna
yeah,
say,
yeah.
one who distract you. So they've done that again. Obviously, it's like a sort of because from the trailer, he said to me that he's a massive game fan and he's a massive sort of movie nerd, and he's done the girl in the red dress as well as the Matrix did it, and that was a mega budget film. And wow, that bit where the girl turns up in the red dress and you're just like, oh wow. Oh
Lauren,
my
if
God.
you're watching, I apologize for drooling Mac.
our friend, yeah. Sorry.
Apologize. I am an old guy, but I appreciate a young girl wearing a red dress like that. That was amazing.
Reminds me of down my local pub, but yeah.
You
Not that-
were the
it's
girl.
a private joke.
You were the girl
Sorry.
in the red dress. You were the girl in the red dress.
Right, so yeah, that I said 100%, guys. Go check it out. Like if for nothing else, like the guy's a super nice guy. I'm not saying you should just pay people for super nice things or that are super nice, but he is genuinely a nice guy. In fact, I'm actually organising at some point, and this will be for friends of the podcast, and we'll probably do a giveaway for it, possibly. We're actually going to organise at some point in the future a live movie night either on big screen or in VR chat or in Neos or something, where certain people can come by and we'll watch the movie with the director, actor guy, and hopefully Lauren as well. And then there'll be like a Q&A afterwards, and we'll do that all within VR, which I think would be pretty fucking sweet.
I think it will.
Looking forward to it. That'd be good. That'd be great.
Yeah.
Oh, Walking Dead showing up. Hey, Walking Dead. We shouted the channel out earlier and dropped the link for your channel.
But you weren't even here, so I think we need to delete that from our memories.
Yeah, and then he goes maybe later. So he about going live, and he's also he's doing yard work. Like I said, he's out in the yard.
Good.
Right now.
You need to get out of the house.
Got him under control.
Can we talk about Gambit?
Okay. Sure.
We can talk about it. I don't know how much I'm going to be able to take part in this conversation.
It's a bit, yeah.
Can we talk about Gambit? Right. So we were all quite heavily involved in the initial playtest for Gambit.
Yep.
I wrote that email. The class, remember that email?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh fuck! So Gambit was supposed to release in December last year. We were involved in the playtest quite heavily. Had a lot of contact with the developers. Positive feedback. Was it positive? I don't know. And we basically said, don't release this game because it's not ready. So
sorry, Matt. Can we do a preempt? It's the same devs from another game, isn't it?
yeah, it's the same devs from Zero Caliber Reloaded,
which you gave. Go on.
Yeah, I ripped that game apart in my first review. My second review, I was a bit more positive. My third review, I still think that Zero Caliber Reloaded is one of the best co-op games on the platforms on VR. It's on Quest because they fucked the PC VR guys. So we said, or I sent this really long email, said don't release this game because it will die, because it's bad. I don't understand what I'm supposed to be doing. It's the gunplay is okay, but it's off. And they actually took into account what we told them and delayed the game.
Yeah.
But it has released now. I haven't played it. The reason I haven't played it is because I don't think it's a good game. And the reviews have kind of proved that point for me.
Mostly negative in Steam.
Yeah, absolutely. Short, and with no point. Basically, that's what everybody said. So we played together, didn't we?
Yeah.
We did. Yeah. Okay. So, okay. Indy first, please.
Right. Okay. I played it, and you guys are like, oh, that was great, and I was like, it doesn't really. It's nothing different. It's very bog standard FPS. They put all this swearing and all that stuff in there to kind of, I get that and stuff, and yeah, it doesn't do it for me, and I haven't played it since. I mean, I think I can still play it on my Quest 2 because it says it's there. I just haven't played it, and there's only one person that I've seen. I haven't been looking for it, but that popped up on my feed, giving it good review. And the thing is, it was December, then it came out in April. The fact that it's the same fucking thing, the game is pretty much the same.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just, I don't know. We were happy that they held it back, and we thought, or maybe they'll change certain things.
Yeah.
But I think they just missed the mark on a lot of stuff. But then, it's each to their own. It's like certain people might like it, certain people might not. But as a general consensus, it's getting negative reviews on Steam. I haven't looked at the reviews on Quest 2 because that's different. Because Steam VR players are pretty spoiled compared to Quest 2 players.
Yeah.
So the reviews are different scales. But overall, it doesn't. Yeah, it just doesn't hit the mark for me. I mean, I'll give it a go if you guys want to play it and see. But yeah.
Yeah, I'm just looking through. So I'm. The thing is, when we played originally, in sort of end of November time, I think that the time I had in there was mainly, and this is a conversation that we've actually had before, like probably a while back. Actually, I know that me and Mac have definitely had it before. I'm not sure if we've had it with you, about when you see large groups of VR streamers or VR YouTubers and they play together, the game seems better. And the reason for that is because those people are having fun, not necessarily because of the game, but because they're playing with their friends.
Yeah.
And like, let's say, for instance, that let's say for the sake of argument, sorry, that everyone that does a review on YouTube is genuine. Let's ignore everything else and just say, for the sake of argument, that everyone is 100% genuine, right? Then it's the game is just a way of those people having a bit of fun, and they show their best bits and their funniest bits, and then the game seems amazing. And when you're editing, I've been through that situation where I've been editing footage, and at the beginning of the footage I'm like, this is garbage, and by the end of the footage I'm like, yeah, this game looks pretty cool now. And then I have to rethink, like, am I portraying something that isn't actually there? Have I just created a narrative around the video? And then I have to go and re-edit things occasionally. So yeah, like, I played it a couple of times and I wasn't that interested, and I actually had them reach out to me, and I feel really guilty. I should have emailed them back, but I'm really bad with emailing people as a general rule of thumb. And I just had no interest. I know that Taz, he played it recently with somebody. I don't know who he played. It might have been Walking Dead.
Yeah.
And Taz had fun, but once again, I don't think Taz had fun because the game was good. Feel free to correct me, by the way, Taz.
No, at the end of it, he did say he didn't like it.
Right, okay. But yeah, so I'm looking through YouTube at the moment. Like, I haven't done a review on this. I'm not planning on doing a review on this. But like, the top 3 hits are all, this is uninspired, this is a total disaster, this was very disappointing. That's not me ad-libbing, by the way. That's genuinely what the titles of these videos of, like, relatively trusted YouTubers are. And even if you go to, like, the lower down ones, it's sort of mediocre. But then, like, this is the problem I have, and this is not throwing shade, by the way, at all, because I like some of these people that I'm about to mention. Actually, no, I think he's corrected himself, so I'm not even going to mention that. But there were some people in November time that were doing gameplay footage of this that were saying, "Oh, this game's pretty cool. This game's really good." I don't think any of them were particularly going, "This is phenomenal. This is amazing," but none of them were saying it's just bad, or it's just mediocre, or it's just disappointing.
That email I sent, basically the dev cut me off after I sent it. So what I said was, in all honesty, I believe you've got a great game, but I don't know where you're going with it. I don't know what the I don't I have no interest in the story. I've no interest in the characters.
Mhm.
The obviously it's the guys behind Zero Caliber, so the gunplay was pretty good. I said you can't release this game as it is because I don't understand what it is. So basically, Gambit is a 4-player co-op shooter where you are playing these foul-mouthed sort of contractors who are making money from going this place and shooting these people in a kind of sort of arena, like a sort of gambling arena sort of style thing. But it just lacked that thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. That's all I can say.
X-Factor.
That's all I can say.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, Serge, you hit that nail on the head. Yeah.
To add
The
to that,
X-Factor.
mate. To add to that. So what happened was they released the game, and it's a full game, not early access, and they had certain sections that said coming soon, and that gave it more negative reviews. And since then, the developers have said that the reason we said coming soon is we messed up. It actually meant as DLC and stuff like that, but it is the full game. And people are like,
Yeah.
oh, a second, you're saying, and it's a full game we're paying for, but this is coming soon, that's coming soon. So that's on the devs. That's a fault of the devs. But it did lack the X factor, and like because my honest opinion when I first saw the trailers, even before and then when I started playing it was like F this, F that, blah 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 blah, and I was like, okay, that's fine. If it's like the gameplay's good, that's great. You can't sell a game just based on that kind of humor, and it just didn't deliver. So that's my
So I'm going to go back to Breaches here because. So as far as I'm concerned, Breaches has been the perfect VR launch. The guys know what they're doing. The game launched. There's no bugs. Everything worked. The voice chat worked. Cross-platform worked. That is the way to launch a game. Clean. I mean, I've played the PC VR version. I played the Quest version. They both look almost identical. They've done that for a reason to stop that problem that they had with Onward, where when it launched on Quest 2, they downgraded the PC VR experience. The PC VR experience is exactly the same as the Quest 2 version, exactly the same as the Pico 4 version.
It's seamless, isn't it? It's just like
it is.
how it should be.
And that's exactly how you should release a game. If you're the guys who are developing Gambit, and I mean, Zero Caliber Reloaded on Quest 2 is still one of the best co-op games on that platform. They should have fucking learned their lesson. Gambit is a fucking mess.
It's a gamble. Gambit was a gamble, and it didn't pay off. I think
it didn't pay off, and I'm so disappointed. I'm so sorry because I have a relationship with the developers, and they basically just cut me off because of my criticism, and I'm kind of disappointed.
I think the problem is that you criticize them one too many times, possibly. Because it's not the first time you've thrown them shade, is it?
Damn it, Max.
And that's not me saying you should stop it. My opinion is that you should fucking carry on. Like these developers need criticism because they need someone. It's all very well and good you filling a balloon with helium, but no one gets to see it if it flies off into the stratosphere. You need someone there holding it back down to the ground.
Yeah.
It's sorry, Indy, to cut you off. So, and I believe this is the same for both of you. Is that I have one thing that I hold dear on my channel is that I will not hype something that is bad. I know that Shui is exactly the same. I know that Indy is exactly the same.
I want to put an addendum in there.
Okay.
Right. I want to put a big addendum in there because there are the addendum is I will not hype something that I think is bad. There are several things that I will probably hype that I think are good that might not turn out to be good, right? But
Yeah.
I will hype things that I genuinely believe are good.
Yeah.
And that's the
Yeah.
addendum.
And it could
Okay,
turn out
so-
to be pile of shit, but then it's like that's the whole point of being a content creator is
Yeah.
it's your opinion that people value, and
Yeah.
it doesn't always turn out the way you want it to. But at like if you see a first impressions or something like that, then it's like, you know, this like you said, it's not been hype. It's just like giving something a positive praise. And then
Yeah.
if it goes to shit, but then if it goes to shit, then people just shoot you down. Like I did see somebody who did say Gambit's the next best game, and this is when we first played it, and I was like, okay, that's his opinion, but
We
I
know
don't
who
think
we know
agree with
we know
him.
who that is. We
And
know
then
who that is. We won't
yeah,
won't say his name.
no, that's
won't
fine.
say
There's
his
nothing
name.
against it because it's personal fucking opinion, you know. Because I
Yeah.
cover indie games and I cover some stuff, and people message me, DM me, go, "That game was shit, wasn't it? You didn't like it, did you?" I was like, "No, actually, I did because this and this." Or some games like, "Yeah, that was actually shit. I'm actually taking it off my channel." But it's just like I've only done that once, and that's the thing. It's personal opinion, and people value people's opinion. That's why they watch us. Like even now, they're watching us for our opinions and stuff.
Yeah.
And it's engaging and it's thought provoking and things like that. So sometimes something might look really good when it first did the playtest kind of thing of not breaches bloody Gambit, but then when it actually came out, it wasn't as good. But then it's hard to eat your words as well in public because some people it's such a people don't understand being a content creator, the pitfalls and all the kinds of stuff that goes on behind the scenes as well. So yeah.
So we go back to Zero Caliber Reloaded when it launched. I slated it. I thought it was terrible because I played the PCVR version. I thought the PCVR version was pretty good.
Yeah.
They did an update a week later, and I was like, okay, now this is better. And then, like
He's
3
dying.
weeks down the line, he's dying. 3 weeks down the line, I actually said that I think that Zero Caliber Reloaded is the best co-op game on the Quest 2, and you know my opinion changed. I got loads of shit for that. They were like, you said this was shit, and I was like, no, they changed the game. They worked, the developers worked really hard. The developers worked really hard to make that game better. I hope they can do the same with Gambit. But unfortunately, it's a Last Naughts scenario for me. It's too fucking late.
Yeah.
What was the other the Nerf thing that you got involved in?
Oh, poor
Chewie?
Nerf, yeah.
Yeah, no,
You
I
know,
was
they-
super hyped for that.
They fucking shut that fucking server down. Bitch, gone.
Yeah, it's because it was a small studio that happened to get hold of a big IP, and I asked them what they were going to do with it. Like pre-launch, I was in there talking to one of the developers, and me and like even Gamertag, we were playing around with them, and I ended up sitting there talking to one of the devs for about 20 minutes, and I was just like, dude, what are you gonna do with this? Because I'm a big fan of Nerf guns, so I was just like, what about this? What if you did like a golden gun where you could only use like the single one-shot pistols? Or what if you did like brought these types of blasters in? Are you gonna bring in the rival stuff? Are you gonna bring in like the gel stuff when you start producing that? And honestly, like the guy thought some of the ideas were good, but they did none of that. Like they did absolutely none of it whatsoever. And it was dead on arrival because it was too expensive. They should have made it free to play with in-game purchases. Because the target market for them realistically was like 10 to 13-year-olds. And
listen, yeah, sorry.
No, you can't carry on, Indy. Because I'm just going to rant.
VR is a niche and Nerf is a niche within a fucking niche. Like my channel is like indie VR and indie. And it's like you need to kind of get it right straight away. And it's so hard because there's so little examples of success stories and how to do it, you know? And I just want to address the choke. What happened was I poured some of my Highland flavoured water and I ran out of mixer. And I forgot that I actually didn't put Mixer in there, and that's why I choked. But I found some Mixer now, so it's okay. I'm alive.
Okay, so
Yeah.
how do you feel about Pot 1 going free to play?
Okay, so I haven't played it in 7 weeks, I think now. And okay, so there's a bunch of new players. Obviously, it's less sweaty. It's easier to kill fuckers unless you're in the top tier, and it's bad for me because it's bad for me because sometimes I just start streaming and I just want to play randoms and have that kind of interaction.
Yeah.
And go, find new players, and that daddy daycare thing with that little kid video that I did, like that was so funny, and it's like I just love that stuff. But now if you go randoms, it's full of fucking kids, and it's just shite.
Man, I mean, I met you playing Pot 1. Back
Worst
when
day of my life. No joking.
Yeah, exactly. I had 4,500 subscribers when I met you, and you were
Fucking
like,
hell.
"Oh, he's a big YouTuber." I was like, "Really?"
Look at him, Shuey, laughing at our numbers. You going to take that?
I mean, when I first met Mac and Serge, I would have been like 800, 700, 600 maybe subs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But of course, like I was awestruck with Mac.
Yeah, he's like a pin-up stud. I had a calendar in my wall and all kinds of stuff.
What can I say? I'm a fucking pinup.
You are.
The thing I liked the most about meeting both of you was, I mean, we've talked about this before, is when Shuey realized he was being interviewed that day we talked on Discord. You did. And the reason was because I've been approached by other people to do collabs. And the only two people I was interested in was Indy, because obviously he was my friend, my Pop 1 guy. And then we spent, I think, like 2 hours just fucking cracking on, me and Shuey. And I was like, yeah, okay, that's going to work. That's going to work. Because you're a nerd and a geek like me.
No, not quite like you. I'm a young nerd / geek.
Yeah,
I've still got years left of my life, mate. It's
swollen ball sack. No.
Fuck off. Fuck off, you young bastards. No, but this is the thing that really surprises me about VR is because we've got our communities have like crossed over, haven't they? They're just basically people in your community are in my community. We got like Tassos and Crash and Fitz and all those guys, Walking Dead. And I absolutely fucking love that. That is the fact that our communities are built like together. I Indy got 1,000 subs just recently.
Hey!
Congratulations, my mate.
Salud.
Shuey's on 7,000 now, I think.
7.5, yeah.
7.5, yeah, great. I've just hit 15.
All right, I've just hit double your number.
Yeah. Listen to the compliments. The shit sandwich, right?
I don't.
There's two bits of bread. No, I'm joking.
He's like, oh, look at Shuey. Oh, look at Serge. Then he whips out his massive, great dick and slaps us both in the face.
Damn.
I don't. I've said to you, Shuey, I don't give a fuck if you fucking pass me in subscribers at any point, and I'll just be happy for you. I don't fucking care. If you're doing well, I'm doing well. If Indy's doing well, we're all doing well. The podcast is going well. I just fucking love you guys. And it's like, I look forward to these Mondays. I can't describe how excited I get. I can't sleep after the podcast. Yeah, there you go.
But something,
I'm so
it's
excited.
just like, I don't follow Power because he killed me into Boar.
Well, I'll drink to that. This is actually a neat one that I know is neat. So, cheers, guys.
Cheers, lads.
Don't choke.
I just want to point out something that Classy said, and it's something I genuinely hadn't considered because, and I know this is going to sound like, me being woke and all that, whatever, shut the fuck up. It's horrible for women The amount of preteen boys that say the most grown-up disturbing things literally makes me sick. I've been muting entire lobbies every day, non-stop heckling. Yeah, no, that's fucking shit. Like, I've got a daughter that's going to end up being in these places at some point, that I've got to try and explain to her how, you know, how bullshit online stuff is. And I've got a son that I've got to try and make understand that just because other people think they're the fucking dog's nuts, doesn't make them, I don't know, this is going to make me sound like a proper dad. It doesn't make them cool. You know, if they jumped off a bridge, would you do it? And it's bullshit. The online stuff with
difficult
fucking young, especially male kids, is shit, man. Like, I wasn't. This is the thing. Like, I was too young for those lobbies to have been a thing, really. So
Exactly.
I never went in and did that. I can't say that I wouldn't have, because I was a tit, to be frank, when I was a teenager. But so I've never really experienced it. I don't really have the guilt of having done that. But I sincerely hope that people do, because I watch a lot of TikToks of like, especially high end Warzone women streamers that go in, and the first thing they hear is just like, "Oh, it's a chick. Oh, bet you need to get back in the kitchen." I'm just like, Jesus fucking Christ, I hope she smashes them. Then, of course, she just fucking annihilates the lobby. And I'm just like, yeah, you fucking wreck them. Like, you destroy those pieces of shit. And then they get all butthurt. And it's like crack to me, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, for me, like, honestly, with this whole internet shit is like, I think I was, the year before I finished my GCSEs, not GCEs, GCSEs, which is 98, was when we first got computers in our school. And then I went to college, and then I got like my first email address in the year 2000. I think it was 99 2000 and shit. And then this whole exploded to all this shit. And it's like, it's a whole different, I know it sounds like an old man thing to say, but it's a whole different generation.
You are 40.
It's like, yeah, exactly. No, but come on, don't even try that, man. Everyone knows you're 65. But it's a whole different thing, because it's like, it's leaped so much, in leaps and bounds compared to how it was if it, you know, for Mac, you know, when you hit 20, 30, 40 and all that kind of stuff. Like, in the internet has just exploded, and it's the biggest thing. And it's full of, there's loads of positive things about it, and there's so many negative things about it as well, like things that you're talking about. And it's just like, man, where this world going to now? It sound like real old men now. I know Chewy's the youngest one of us, and it was obviously like you having kids as well. It's like bringing up kids, and I don't have kids myself, but I've got like my brother's got kids, nieces and nephews and shit, and I just think, you know, it's so crazy. Like, even if like my nephew's around there the other day, and he wanted to play, because I've got two headsets. We play Rekt. I was like, listen, I can't play right now. I feel like crap, but you can go on there. And then he had his headset on, so I could hear everything that's going on. And he just said, "Oh, can I make a friend?" I said, "Yeah, go for it." And then he did, and like, it was someone like a bit younger than him and stuff, and it was all good. But it's like the parents that just put their kids on with no supervision and shit, you know?
Yeah.
Like that kid in Population 1, Mac, and he was like, that short I did, what was it? He was like, what was it you said to him? I can't remember what it was. And he just said, "Yeah, motherfucker, I'm gonna fucking end you," and all this kind of stuff. I was like, Jesus, this kid's only like 9 years old. But you can't, like, parents that give their kids a headset without supervision, which is a whole different, like, conversation. It's fucking crazy. Just like giving someone access, it's like giving your kid access to the internet with no supervision, but they don't realize it because they think, oh, it's a gaming headset, but it isn't, because, you know, people get influenced at that age by like anything. So
I always say, and this is like one of the things, like the tenets of my YouTube channel is don't say something on the internet if you wouldn't say it to their face. And on my Discord channel, if you join my Discord channel, it says don't be a dick. That's the one rule I have. That is the one rule I have. Don't be a dick. I've been married for 30 years. My wife is the greatest person I've ever met in my whole existence.
Well, I'm fucking hurt now.
I thought you said it's me.
No, it's not you. No,
No. I get that.
It's
mate.
to be honest, I don't get to have sex with you. So,
You never
so
asked.
Yeah, I've done it to you, but you just don't know about it. Sorry, carry on.
No, Serge, you the past couple of times I met you, you were passed out on the fucking settee on the bed.
We do not need to go into this story on live TV. They're fucking hell.
I've got a photograph of me and your dad. Like
Jesus Christ, this is Pornhub level.
Daddy issues now.
I actually like your dad more than I like you. No, it's going back to this thing about women on the internet. It's so difficult for them to get past this toxic sort of relationship with the people who watch them and all that sort of stuff. Now, I don't suffer from that because I'm a 56-year-old man, bald, slightly overweight. So I don't have this problem where I get vilified for my sex. And obviously Shuey doesn't because he's a big ginger-haired guy, and Serge doesn't because he's a big Punjabi Sikh. If anybody fucks with him, he'd just like screw them up.
No, I wouldn't. Sorry,
I've met your family, mate. They're all fucking huge. So yeah, it's a
your
massive
family are
issue.
scary, Serge. Like if I wasn't actually chatting to them and getting to know them, like they're scary dudes, man.
There are a couple of psychopaths. But if you're friends with them, they're good.
One of my favourite moments of your birthday was walking to that bar with fucking 20 other Punjabi Sikhs, and everybody looked at them and
the music stopped.
Yeah,
record scratch.
If there was a piano player in the background, that he would have gone and stopped, because you had all these fucking huge guys like walking in. And they were like, "Oh, what the fuck is going on here?" We were just like, "No, we're just having a birthday party, mate. It's just, But like, this is really horrible. But as a white guy, that's the first time I actually saw that racism from like your point of view, where we walked into that bar, and I saw the way that people reacted to your family. To me, it was actually quite horrible, because I don't judge people by the color of their skin or their religion or whatever it is. I either like you or I don't. But that was the first time I actually remember thinking, fuck, these cunts are fucking racist, because when we walked in that bar, they all went, fuck.
Hide your purses. Nah.
Hide your purse. Yeah, exactly.
It's fine, mate. I grew up, I've dealt with my whole life. It's just really funny. I remember once I walked into, it's me and my cousin Mumps from Birmingham, and we walked into a bar in Egham, and literally as soon as he walked in, it went like the music actually stopped, and we walked up to the bar, and we were like, "Can we have a pint of whatever first and a double vodka?" And then we sat down, had chilled out, and we just had a sip of our drink, and it was all completely silent. Everyone stopped talking, and that it was like, I was like, "How you doing, mate? You're right, having a good day?" He's like, "Oh shit, he's English. He's all right." Crazy.
I remember
just put the jukebox on.
that story your dad told me when he walked into that pub we went to. Your dad told me that story about he walked into the pub and somebody said, "Who called the taxi?"
Yeah, that was my brother.
Oh, was it your brother? Was it? Oh,
yeah,
fuck me, man! It's just like the fucking 20th century. Why the fuck is that still going on? Why the fuck is that still going on?
You have to just laugh about it because it's just there, and like it's weird because like people get offended about it on the internet nowadays, and it's just like, yeah, but if you grew up in the deepest parts of it, it's like you laugh about it because when someone else talks about it, it's like it's funny because it's like, shit, I've been through the same thing. and it still goes on, but it's just like it doesn't fuck it, doesn't
Yeah,
matter.
well, it's right. So I joined the army when I was 18, and the guy who was in charge of me was a Punjabi Sikh called Major Moaha. We used to call him Major Mahatsa Bandage because he wore the turban. But he was a massive influence on my life
Yeah, you
because
told
he
me about
was
that, yeah.
he was such a nice guy. He taught us how to play kabaddi. You know, they had to stop playing kabaddi because so many people got injured on their fucking.
It's a
supposed to be
brutal sport,
non-contact.
mate. Yeah.
It's a brutal
fucking
sport.
brutal. Yeah.
It's a brutal sport. But that was like I was 18 years old and I was a white guy who lived in the northeast of England. Never met a black person in my life because at the time there was no black people in the northeast of England. So he was like a massive influence on my life because he was just such a nice guy. You know, even though he was like an officer in charge of me, he kind of. Yeah, we had this conversation about the Punjabi Sikhs because you said to me one day, "I'm a Punjabi Sikh," and I was like, "Oh my god, my officer in charge."
Oh my
of me when
god,
was
I know the Punjabi Sikh. No, joking. But I think we're going way off our topic here, mate. I think.
Yeah, no, we
Yeah.
The thing is, you can tell, like I'm sitting here waiting to interject, and try and get us back on and try and maybe finish out the VR, the news. But at the same
VR
time,
stuff, yeah.
I realise that I am the one person on this podcast not drinking.
Listen, Sherry.
I
We've still got
apologise.
legislation to cover, but like
let's go. Let's hit the main points.
So yeah, let's go.
Okay, so let's do them in order as well. I think that's probably the best way to do it. So the first one we had on there, God, fuck, the actual first thing we've got on the actual list, 2 hours into the podcast, is Alex going non-VR.
Yep. Okay, so let's Half-Life Alyx. You can play it non-VR, and it's still not 100% working. Like things are missing and stuff like that. If you're a hardcore Half-Life fan and you really want to play it,
then you should have bought a PC VR. You fucking idiots! Like you're not hardcore.
Yeah. Well, apart from that, it's I think it's shit, and that's my side of the story.
I think like you're missing what the actual game is. Like, yeah, you get to do the story, but you can watch the story on watching a YouTube video. You can read the story. If someone's probably done a write-up of the story of Half-Life Alyx, like if you just want to experience that side of it, that's fine. But you don't need a game to do that. Like, Half-Life Alyx is about so much more than just the story. It's about the feeling and the interaction and what Valve actually pushed with that game. So, yeah, I'm not going to play it. Like, I've played it in VR. It's great. Love it.
Yeah.
Like, why would I play what is essentially a 16-bit version of a great game that came out in the last couple of years?
How... Yeah. Right, so there's a certain part in the game which I always remember, and it's where you sweep some stuff off a shelf.
Yeah.
To reach some stuff that you need. That doesn't work in flat screen. It just doesn't work.
Make a difference.
Can you imagine how long it would take to literally go right click, pick up, drop, right click, pick up, drop, rather than just go hooah?
It's one of the reasons I loved Red Matter as well on the Quest 2, because I honestly think that that Half-Life Alyx would work on the Quest 2 because Red Matter did it.
No.
Red Matter did it. Red Matter had that moment where I swept the stuff off the table.
Yeah, but Alyx is so much more than that. I mean, literally speaking, you can get Alyx to run on the most potato-y of potato machines. Like, I've seen it done. Yeah. There's a guy that literally has a whole YouTube channel about doing shit like that. But yeah, it's just no. It wouldn't work. It's too. No. It's too big. Like, it would look garbage, and people would still play it and they'd enjoy it. And honestly, they'd probably still have a really good time playing it. So I don't see the problem with it. I just don't see why they would put the effort in. Like
It's
Valve
because
don't like to
people
make.
really want to experience. Like, sorry, mate, go on.
No, you carry on, mate. I was going to go into.
I just want to say that people really feel they missed out on the Half-Life series that are on PC, and they're like, "Shit, yeah, I'll play it." Apart from that, it's and the thing is, like, if you look at it from a PC point of view, they'll be like, "It's so limited. You got 4 guns, and like, it's just like, what the hell is it? I don't know." People can experience it, but it's not the same as in VR because in VR you've got just like 4 guns is fair enough or whatever it is, and the attachments and stuff. When it translates to flat screen stuff, it's like it's not all that. I think
Like
that's the way it looks.
half of Half-Life Alex is using the gravity glove.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
Google Games has just said you can actually run Alex on Steam Deck.
okay,
I don't know if that's true or not. I don't have a Steam Deck, but yeah.
I was
Yeah,
very
she said-
close to
she's-
getting one the other day.
He said it's a thing. It's a thing.
Okay. Okay, so we're done with Alex.
Yeah,
Anyone else wanna say
like
anything else?
don't
Yeah,
bother.
'cause
All of you guys that are watching, you all have headsets. Just play it properly.
Yeah.
For God's sake.
if you're watching this and you're into flat screen, get a VR headset. There you go.
Beat Saber hitting
yes.
255 million revenue.
Wow.
That is pretty sick.
6.7 million Quest 2 users.
That
as
doesn't
well.
seem a lot to me though. 255 million. Maybe I'm just like spoiled or something.
Billion, but like in VR terms, that's quite a big, a massive feat, to be honest.
It is,
Yeah, but there's a thing that I have to point out here, right? And it's because I've been talking to a few people about several different things recently when it comes to board games, and the licensing must have absolutely rinsed that 255 anyway. Like I can't see how they're like 255 is a big number, but I just like I would like to see what the actual profit margin on that is.
Yeah, that is very true. It's a very valid point, mate. Because you can't like you can't stream the fucking thing without getting a strike. So
exactly,
it's one of the reasons I stopped doing Pistol Whip, because every time I made a Pistol Whip video, I got fucking strike. And I actually spoke to the developers of Pistol Whip about this, and they were like, I was saying to them, look, I did all these mixed reality, sort of videos about Pistol Whip, and I got a strike every single time I made one, and they were like, what? And I was like, dude, don't you know this fucking happens? If you make a video about Pistol Whip, it's licensed music, you will get a strike. So I've like of all the videos I made about Pistol Whip, which I was extremely when I first started my channel, that was basically where I started. I never made any money out of it. Never ever made any money out of it because I got copyright strikes across. It happened with Against. It happened with what's the Les Mills. Happened with Les Mills.
Yeah.
You try and make some content about these games that have copyright music, and you're not going to make any money out of it. So why would you do that?
Yeah. I mean, it doesn't make a difference to me. I had it for free on the Quest 2, and I'm just not interested, to be honest. Gave it a go, but yeah.
It is what it is. Like
next. Do you want to talk some more?
So Pimax Portal shipping to backers this month. This is no one gives a fuck.
Nobody gives a fuck.
Like, for those of you who don't know, the Pimax Portal is like a Nintendo Switch that you strap to your face. Where have I seen that before? The fucking Nintendo Switch! That already exists. It's already a pointless idea that doesn't fucking work.
Yeah.
Pimax are one of those weird companies that don't seem to give a fuck and just do stuff because they want to.
I will say that the Portal has a really, really good idea behind it that I actually genuinely love, though. but it's got nothing to do with the console, and it's got nothing to do with the headset. It's purely to do with what they're doing with their accessories that go with the controllers, and ones that you can even like create yourself. And it's so that you can actually put the controller inside an actual an actual gun that fits it properly and works and is weighted, to give you that real feel of holding that weapon. And the same with, like, they demonstrated like table tennis rackets and tennis rackets and all sorts of other little bits and bobs, and I thought that was really cool. And that's more of the stuff that I think we need to get towards. Not gimmicky stuff that just fits around your controller, but something that your controller can sit into and directly feel real.
Yeah.
Like when me and Buck went to that VR place, that Sandbox VR, that was what partly gave it that realistic feeling, is you were holding something that felt like a gun. You weren't holding a controller, you were holding a gun. And with weight and everything, and that was pretty fucking cool.
Yeah, that's true. That is true. So we've covered most things, so I'm gonna just do a quick rattle.
Yep.
So we have the Peacock streaming service, which is on the Quest 2. It says 12th of April, but I couldn't actually see it to purchase on. Well, it's free anyway, but I couldn't click the buy button. So it's 50 plus non-stop channels of all kinds of stuff, sports and TV shows.
I have a feeling it might be limited to the US at the moment.
Oh, okay, there you go. And then you got the Pico bundle for the spring, which is Peaky Blinders, King's Ransom, and you got Les Mills, Soul 5E Club, and Wonder. You got
how much is that?
Hell. I am not sure. I think it comes with the headsets. I think it's just a normal.
Okay, because I was going to say, like, Pico, their sales are actually really good. If you've got a Pico headset and you want cheaper games, then like wait for their like Easter sales and stuff, because they had like 65% off a load of their stuff recently.
Yep, yeah. A great headset too, because I've had a Pico. You have Green Hell, which is a 3-part DLC. The first part is going to be a 4-player co-op, but there's no crossplay between flat screen and VR, obviously, because it's a totally different fucking story. It's called The Spirit of the Amazonia DLC, and there's new mechanics and content, and you've got the Pimax we already covered. I think we've covered everything. Apart from that, anything else you guys want to add?
Just want to say, like, Googly, I understand that, man. Like, I'm talking purely. I saw the advert for the Portal, and I instantly wanted it as well. Similar to how I would want a Steam Deck. I love the other things that it can do. I think it's a really cool idea. But yeah, it's just it's VR is beyond strapping screens to our faces. It needs to be very specific types of screens.
Can we talk about the big screen VR then?
The big screen beyond.
No, VR. Sorry, big screen VR. We didn't actually cover that.
No, the new headset. Yeah.
So it's 127 grams, 24 millimeters at thinnest point. It's pretty. It looks pretty decent. 5120 by 2560 resolution, up to 90 hertz, and FOV is 90 by 93 degrees.
But you need Steam
PlayStation
trackers. Yeah. So that's another. How much?
300, I think.
It's got to be more than that, surely. For the base stations and the trackers.
Oh, and the trackers.
You're gonna need trackers and controllers.
And controllers.
Yeah.
So Thrill Seeker did a video on it, and he said it's his new. It's basically his new headset for playing VR. He said it's amazing, blah blah blah. But I don't have the base stations. I don't have the index controllers. You do.
I was going to say, if I was in Indy's position, I would have bought one.
Would you drop £1,000 on that? Less FOV, hugely.
Okay, so
light.
For me, no. Do you know why? Because I go back to the same shit I've been saying the whole time. Is the index is just plug and play, testing games, and for what I do and all that kind of stuff, it's just easier. Maybe one day it'll be an addition to the family, but not right now.
I regret selling my Index.
I bet you do.
I fucking regret selling that headset. That headset was so good.
Even now, it's
Oh
4
my-
years old. It's still just fucking. You just put it in, and it's just like done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So good. I've publicly said this now. I regret selling my Index.
You've
Sorry.
said it several times.
My Index.
Index wanker. Yeah,
Okay,
exactly.
so the last. So someone said something about the Deca Gear. The Deca Gear headset. I think the last thing we knew about it was going to be Q4, and is it the Deca Brick? No,
No,
I don't think we have any new information.
it's gone.
I
gone.
think it's just died, has it?
Yeah, it has.
Hmm.
I've got the Deca Move hip based tracking for yeah, they've basically it was a scam ish kind of thing.
I think it was an accidental scam, right?
It was. Deca Gear is no more. Deca Gear, Deca Move, whatever it was. Now it's just, unfortunately, I like what they were doing. I like the idea, but it's gone. It's just gone.
Yeah, so that's fine. It's already passed. That is all good. Anything else you want to cover, guys?
No, I think I am good for now.
Okay. All
Ready
good,
for your
Mac?
12-hour shift?
It's not 12 hours. I only got to go back for 4.5 hours.
Fuck.
And then I've got to be up at 6 for the other 12 hours.
Okay.
Damn. Okay. Well, thanks for everyone that's joined us and watched.
Yeah,
Thank you to
sorry
Mac
for the
and
tangents, boys and
Paron.
girls.
Yeah. Sorry, we just. I think Paron needs to, start drinking in the streams. No, I'm joking because I don't.
What we
really
need to
do it in
do,
general, so.
right, is we need to, at some point, we're going to have to do a double feature podcast where we do 2 weeks in a row. And then we can get back on the original schedule where I don't work the next day and I can start drinking again.
Okay. All right, that sounds great. But yeah, thanks everyone for joining. It's been great. Thank you for your input in the chat. Anything else to add, my friends?
No, just I love you. That's it.
Yeah, love you all. It's been fun. Thank you for joining us, and we will catch you next time.
See you on the other side.
Say bye, guys.
Rekt podcast.
Said.
Ah.